everybody out there in the land of YouTube. This is Annette Dion. I'm the host and founder of the one and only Psychic News Network. It's Monday, January 22nd. Yes, it is. And it really is. It's January 22nd. The moon is in. It's now in the sign of Cancer. How you doing? What's happening? Did you have a good weekend? You're finally on time. I'm not, but I do my best. I'm in this really old office building, and it's like the rest of the building is cool, and this office is like a sauna. It's one of those old systems. I was just trying to get the temperature right. The window's wide open, and the temperature is going up outside, so it's a bit of a relief from the deep tundra cold that we had. What should we talk about? Guten Abend. Oh, that's German, I think. Let's see. I don't even know where to start. I'm really looking at this year. It's only the third week. We're going into the third week in January, and I'm already tired of the election. Is anybody with me on that? Satan is out. He was out last August. The energy around him was like done last August. So I don't know why it took him so long to get the memo. Abby's asking, is Nikki crashing and burning? I don't pick that up. I actually don't. You never get notified that I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 Eastern Time. You can remember that. You're supposed to tap on the bell if you want to be notified, and then you have to go into your phone and you have to say yes to notifications. Is anybody else tired of election season already? Because we have a long way to go. Oh me, oh my. It's YouTube. Yeah, YouTube is not helping me very much in terms of getting the word out. I'm really, I have to, it's a lot of grunt work on my part, and there's nothing easy. Every subscriber, every member, it's like, I'm working it, and thank you for your support immensely. Tired of the loser. Just tired of, I don't want to turn on the news every single day this year and only hear about the election. I want to hear about other things. And the loser. So let's take a look at some cards. So the moon's in Cancer. The sun went into Aquarius over the weekend. And Pluto went into Aquarius over the weekend. Yeah, Barbara's tired of hearing about the election. It's only the third week in January. We have until November 5th. A lot can happen. You just watched the weather and read about there are a couple of Navy SEALs that we lost in the Middle East. Tragic. I don't really hear that being top news. I like to hear the feel-good stories. I had a feel-good story at Church of Spirituality yesterday. The second reading was a feel-good story. And the sermon, if I may say so myself, was a feel-good sermon. So there, I'm providing you with the feel-good stuff. I'm doing my best. Last night I hopped on. I was, I have these moments of not discouragement, but just maybe disbelief. Disbelief that as a nation we are just having to listen to these horrible people. Thank you, Kathy. And so I hope you check that out. Check out my video from last night. I am going to upload more videos. I'm going to do the lives 3 times a week, but I think I'm going to every day, probably except Saturday, you'll be hearing from me. Something's in the air tonight. Hi, Angela. Where you been? Good to see you. I'm going to give a bell to Angela Wilson. I used to be on Facebook, and she watched me there. Yeah, so Pluto went into Aquarius. The energy's really changing. And Christine's here too. Yay, all my friends are here. There was a big shift over the weekend. And so I felt like I want to see this. I don't want to see this normalized. I don't want to see that we expect people to be awful. I don't want to see that. I like my new sign, Discover Your Courage. Biden's new ad is funny. I think I know which one you mean. 1 week ago, it was Martin Luther King Day, right? Do I have that right? It was 1 week ago. It was last week, yes. Yes, 1 week ago today was Martin Luther King Day. And I suddenly got this feeling I needed to channel his energy. So I channeled Martin Luther King's energy, and he said, very in no uncertain terms, he said, courage. We need courage. Oh yes, I did see that Biden ad with Nikki Haley. Yeah, we'll get to that. And I felt motivated to make that sign because of that message I channeled from Martin Luther King. Hang on, I'm just going to see what this is. Breaking news. Actually, in Joliet, 7 people were murdered today in 2 homes, 2 in 1 home and 5 in the house across the street. Yeah, let's tell the joke or something. Because that's too depressing. I'm going to pull 3 cards. And the 3 cards will be about the general attitude in America. Yep, that's what I'm going to read on. The general attitude in America. General meaning, well, what's the predominant emotional state of Americans right now? The general, most predominant emotions for Americans right now. Every once in a while I ask this question. Malaise, too much malaise. Okay, so the general attitude of people in America right now. A lot of people are refusing to look at what's going on in the news in America. Sandy felt total joy yesterday. I felt the upliftment of Pluto getting out of Capricorn. Capricorn doesn't sit well with me. No offense to Capricorns. I'm just talking about on my energy, because it's just it's too earthy for me. It's great for other people maybe. Why did the band hire a turkey? Because they needed the drumsticks. That is so old. Yes, this year will be full of electricity because Pluto is in Aquarius till November. I don't know the exact date, but tune in next week on Tuesday for our show with Kathy Beal for political astrology. I have a sage bundle behind me. I think it's going a little nuts. Hang on. Excuse me. Out of control sage. I guess I needed it. The smudge is out of control. This might require a little water. Hang on, everyone. Hang on. Okay. Disaster averted. We've got lots of smudge. We're doing good. The general feeling. Why did the maggot go to school? To learn how to be a real bookworm. Okay, I'm going to focus now. I'm focusing. The general feeling. Oh, I didn't know that this was going to come up. Okay, the general feeling of the American population right now. A lot of people have malaise. Malaise. You know what malaise is? Malaise is like, I don't want to do, I don't like politics. I'm serious. And they're missing what they need to be doing. I often get this card when I read about our democracy. that there's a lot of missed opportunities. I'm not saying it's going to stay that way because I'm just looking at right now what's going on. Malaise. Feeling like, well, the majority of the population right now in America is feeling like they don't know the real truth. Libraries equal democracy, absolutely. When, you know, I was in a town recently, and I just remember that I was driving, where was I? I might have been in Maine or New Hampshire. So I was driving through and I was like, oh, look at the library. Oh, libraries are so wonderful. Libraries are for everyone. Oh, don't you love the library? Right, you know. Maria's feeling better that Pluto, now that Pluto left Capricorn. A lot of Americans are feeling malaise, are feeling disillusioned, are feeling low energy because they don't know what's going on. They feel like so much is going on behind the scenes. It's hard enough to get information, but when there's information that's too much behind the scenes, then you really feel like you're in a fog. Yeah, tired of all this, yeah. And yeah, that could be the malaise. The King of Pentacles, all they're hearing is... well, I wish they were hearing this. The loser, the loser, the loser, the loser. But they're hearing his name. If people don't know the truth by now, it's because either they aren't paying attention. I'm talking about the general. Like the majority of the population feels like things are being hidden from them. And they're opting out of probably overwhelm. Out of not knowing who to believe or what to believe. The King of Pentacles, this is also pointing to I'm feeling Biden getting more and more and more and more and more money. So let's do this. Let's look at it this way. We got to do a group hug too. Warren asked me to ask you all to join me in a group hug in a second. Because he had a dinner planned tonight and he couldn't make it. You keep using loser as his nickname, used it on Midas Touch. Oh, in the chat. The more that the loser is being more and more heinous, the more money goes into Joe Biden's coffers. Shall I say that again? I think it will make you feel good. The more and more heinous that the loser becomes, the more money goes into Joe Biden's coffers. And with that, let's have a group hug. Group hug! We are saving democracy. That was a democracy. That was a democracy hug. Just think about what we've been through. Still not back to your old group activities. And I recommend that you don't go back to your old group activities because there's a lot of viruses flying around out there. And I do wonder. If this country hadn't, you know, I wonder, like, just speaking of viruses and the pandemic and everything, and definitely check out the show that I did with the amazing holistic healer Jonathan Glass on Saturday. Please check that out. Speaking of viruses and health. This winter, if the CDC was courageous enough, and they were dismantled to a good degree under the loser's reign. I use that word purposely. Reign. I wonder if, I'm going to ask the pendulum this, I wonder if we would be advised this winter, I wonder if the CDC or the government would be strongly suggesting or advising for us to be wearing masks. Because I know it's bad out there. I mentioned too that I was in a crowded place and I felt the viruses there, and I mean psychically I felt the viruses there, so I left. And then I felt like I was fighting something off all week. Maybe it was psychosomatic, but I do feel that. Would the CDC, if we didn't have the insanity that we had around the pandemic, would the CDC right now be recommending masking? If we didn't have all that, like, is that hindering? If we hadn't had all the really death threats, I mean, poor Dr. Fauci. If we didn't have all that, oh yeah, oh big time, oh big time. If we currently have, or if we currently had a situation like right now, past the worst of the pandemic, where people were amenable to suggestions and advice from the CDC, they would be saying that everybody mask up. That's where we are. That's why I'm telling you to watch the show, if you haven't already, with Jonathan Glass, because it was about how to stay healthy. I'm really proud of that Spirit Talk podcast. That was a really good one. Wear your mask. No excuses if you're in a huge crowd. So that's where we are. Where we are is that the loser has managed to intimidate so many people and so many agencies. Thank you, Barbara. She loved the podcast. He's intimidated so many agencies and so many people, and his minions who follow him and who issue death threats to everybody in our government. Let's just be real. We would be getting more truthful information. I don't mask up, I just avoid people. It's true. There'll be more pandemics. Okay. When I read last night, when I posted that video last night, I pulled a few cards. I forget what the question was, but I pulled a few cards, and all of a sudden I got that, oh my gosh, I see Jim Jordan and James Comer being taken to task on something. Oh, Angela, that's a very specific question. Do I think the loser will get so fed up with E. Jean Carroll because he's a crazy person that he'll lunge at her? I don't think he would do that. So I'm going to pull 3 cards about Jim Jordan and James the Dunce Comer. Because I was just getting the something's brewing with them where they're going to be taken to task. They're going to be read the riot act. Let me see what that's about. And also, I can't shake the feeling this week that something major is going to come out in the news. Some major revelation. So we'll read on that too. Jim Jordan and Jim Comer. I'm actually connecting this with Fani Willis. There's something illicit that they did that's illegal. We'll read on Fani Willis too and being harassed and what's going on with that. They have used up their last fuse. John, I've known forever that those Republicans, I don't know if I ever really voiced it here, but those Republicans that just shut up about January 6th and about all the losers' crimes, they're all afraid of death threats. And not for anything, but I got that around Merrick Garland early on too, that the death threats were intense. So it has given the loser too much power. He shouldn't have all that power. But as far as Jim Jordan, and why do we call him that? I just got used to hearing that. Is that a Midas touch thing? Jim Jordan. As far as that goes, they've exhausted all their options with the Biden impeachment inquiry and the Hunter Biden, trying to put him in jail for the rest of his life when it's really the loser that needs to be in jail for the rest of his life for actual real crimes that he didn't pay any penance for. The Queen of Wands is indicating to me that something about what Jim Jordan did when he sent Fani Willis some kind of a letter demanding that she stop her investigations and that she just kind of abort mission. There's something really very, very illegal about that. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not a lawyer. 45's lawyer said he had a moral compass. Yeah. Joey Taki Takapina. He found his conscience, sort of. He kind of ruined his reputation. I mean, it's remarkable, isn't it? I'm going to read on this. It's remarkable how the loser has gotten people to throw away their entire lives to just like all this studying and all this, not Alina Haba. I mean, just all this, think about what he's done. How has the loser improved anyone's life? Because even his children are going to be up the creek. Dow Jones hit a new record high, yeah. I mean, there is a God in heaven. Because Biden's wins are going to become undeniably, glaringly obvious. Haba comes across as an idiot. She's proud of that, Maria. We do look at civics now. We do have grassroots democracy now. We hadn't had that before. Wink, wink. Media crickets. I know, it's so true. That's going to change. The guides just told me that's going to change. The media being crickets is going to change. That's what I feel. If the Dow crashed now, it would be headline stories. We need to call them out. The mainstream media. We need to just keep calling them out. Yeah, everything that the loser touches dies. So many questions. All right, what should I ask first out of all this list of questions? All right, I keep on feeling like some big, giant news is coming out this week. Did Haba fib about COVID? Before I read on the big something coming out this week, let's ask that. Did Alina Haba lie about COVID? Was that a lie? Was it a lie? It actually wasn't. But it was dumb because it was like, oh, my parents have COVID. Anyway, that's going to resume on Wednesday. That trial's going to resume on Wednesday. Yeah, what has the loser done for them? So because I have this really strong feeling, and we are going into a full moon, so it kind of makes sense. I feel like we're going to have big news, and it feels like it's around international, our enemies. When is Netanyahu leaving office? I've always seen him arrested, even before October 7th. I've said that all along. When you ask a psychic when, it's like, it's hard. The spirit realm there's no time, there's no calendar, there's no, so for them to give me the message, I just have to ballpark it. Feels like later in the year. Like towards summer. So maybe mid-year. So there's a full moon coming up in the sign of Leo. Ooh, big. That's big. That's big. Go back and listen to Spirit Talk podcast, the last one I did with Kathy Beale. Not the tea leaf reading one. That was not astrology, but the one before. There's no time on the other side. It's a timeless infinity. 3 cards. I need a little insight on what I'm picking up on this week. It feels like big news about international connections with Russia. Maybe that's connected to what I'm picking up on with Jimmy Jim and James Comer. Maybe there's something that they're nervous about that's connected to that. Cat's coming out of the bag. That's what the guides are saying. The major news that I'm seeing coming this week. It feels like it has to do with a foreign enemy. Mueller report type of stuff. Does it have to do with Russia? Does it have to do with Russia? Interesting. Does it have to do with the loser's connections to Putin? Kind of. That looks like a yes. The major breaking news that I see, it's going to be very clear. It's like a big clarifier. The major news that I'm feeling coming this week. Will it be on the full moon? Is it actually on the full moon? Oh, interesting. That's going to be the 25th. I feel like it has to do with how the loser fooled everybody. How he did it. Russia meddled in the election. Russia, right? We are reading we have a book club now. I'm doing it all, people. I'm telling you. I'm doing it all. So we have book club now, and we were reading Heather Cox Richardson's Democracy Awakening, that book. And she talks about that. She talks about Russia, when he really, there's evidence, that the loser invited Putin to meddle in the election. And then he turned it into this rallying cry against the Democrats. So the Ace of Swords, it looks like we're going to see unarguable evidence. And Mr. Loser is going to really suffer. We're going to see the tricks that he did. The smoke and mirrors thing. It's about that. It feels like it's about that. Now, I mentioned last night in my video, if you watched it, that I saw a little clip of Melania at her mother's funeral, and the loser was there, and the dejected look that the loser had his whole body language as he walked away from Melania, and I felt like that was a breakup. Do we have any wrenches in the house? Let me pause. I can add some wrenches. I need to pause. All right, I'll get it. Well, I'll add a few if it keeps coming up. Y'all need to zap them. I haven't thanked my wielders of the wrenches, but that's on me. Thank you to all my wrenches. I mean, I hope you don't mind I call you wrenches. It's a compliment. Is the loser going to have a dementia episode this week? Yeah. That's a dumb question. It's a dumb question. Angela, are you getting that too? Are you getting that there's going to be big giant news? I'm getting big giant news, and it feels like it's this week. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Darren. Lots of love to you, Darren. I got an envelope from you. I really, really, really appreciate you. You're awesome. You're all awesome. Yeah, that was a foreign troll. Foreign troll. Looked like Arabic. Doesn't take a psychic, right, to know that he's gonna show. I do. Okay, let's ask this: Will it be a visible meltdown? Will the loser have a visible meltdown? Visible meltdown. Okay, wait. Is it going to be beyond anything we've seen yet? Yes. This is more big. It's more bigger. It's more bigger than you might imagine. Let's pull 3 cards about that. The Maga meltdown. What do you think of that one? Sweet Scotchy's got the popcorn out. It's huge. Kathy, that's good. It's huge. It's from China. Or Russia. No, this is about... I'm picking up a huge meltdown. Well, they're both, they go hand in hand. Because I'm picking up on some big news about our foreign enemy and his connection to the foreign enemy. And it feels like Russia. And I'm also picking up on a total, it goes hand in hand, right? It's making sense to me. It's all clicking. I see a meltdown. I see a meltdown because of the big news. And I see him having a total toddler tantrum. No offense to toddlers. About the news. Yes, proof of his selling secrets. That's what I get. That very much. And I feel like it's also connected to the election in 2016. Am I picking up on proof of him selling secrets? Yes, it is that. I've said it more than once, and it's extremely tragic. That the reason that the world, a huge contributing factor. Yes, Jim Jordan asked to see Fonny's files. There's something, yeah. Well, might get back to that topic. There's a huge something that's going to cause him to melt down. It feels like foreign secrets. Yep, it's communication. He's thinking about it right now. The loser is thinking about it. Maybe Jim Jordan traveled the paper to Russia. Not really sure what you mean. Yeah, because the loser's looking at what he did now being revealed. We're not going to have the whole story. We'll just be, having the scratch and the surface part of the story. But the rest of it is there. The DOJ is not going to divulge very much at all. And here's the 4 of Cups, which is, sometimes this indicates that the loser... This comes up often about him having an opportunity to kind of redeem himself. Let me put it this way. He has an opportunity to not incriminate himself repeatedly over and over and over with the Truth Social with all caps and the crazy things that he says and the violent things that he says. And I posted a picture today that I screenshotted off of Midas Touch of in the rally in New Hampshire. There was somebody being led out. I don't know. He was protesting the loser or something. And he was being led out of the venue. And then, so you saw, towards the back of the venue, there were all these empty seats. And you could see people walking out. So he's had opportunities to not make himself look so heinous. But he always opts for the most heinous option. But there's some foreign dealings that are coming up. So, wow, let's go back to the Melania situation. I'm going to switch decks for a sec. I have a sort of a feeling of wanting to use the Voyager deck. This is Trump stealing, and this is a Smoke and Mirrors show. Hang on a second. It's right here. want to read the Voyager deck. I'm getting stars on me. Tonight, Midas touches on tonight. Midas touches on Mondays and Thursdays with the brothers. I'm leaning towards spelling it differently. I told you I would let you know. I think the moose is going to be called... The guy who was attacked as he left the... Yeah, I saw that. Let me just give you a little heads up on this. Please hit the thumbs up if you haven't already, and thank you if you have. And please subscribe. I'm toying around with the idea of naming the democracy moose Midus. Midas. Midas is a god in mythology that whatever he touched turned to gold. And I think it will be okay. And let me tell you the reason. Because there's an energy vibration to words. And it wouldn't be that I would be stealing. It would be that that energy would be bringing more people into the pro-democracy movement. Both, because this is a pro-democracy channel, right? And I've been tossing this around in my head for days now. Midas, M-I-D, and then U-S. Like, you know, the loser was like, I was looking at the word U-S the other day. Remember this was months ago? Yes, you have it. M-I-D with big U-S. Because that vibration can pull more people into the pro-democracy movement. Like, remember when the loser was like, and then all of a sudden I realized, U-S, it spells us. So, I'm actually pulling 3 cards about his relationship, if you can call it that, with Melania. His business arrangement. Okay. His business arrangement with Melania, is that contract about to be thrown out? It sure looked like it to me. When I saw Melania getting into the limousine and you could see it. I don't think you had to be a psychic to see it. Oh, they're done. Oh, it's over. This is Melania taking what's hers, taking the money. I know these cards are hard to see, but there's the Empress and the Ten of Worlds, which is like the Pentacles. So the Empress, and the other card, that's the Empress. That's the kind of the money card. She's going to take whatever money she can get, and she's going. She's going, people. Oh, and Baron is 18 on March 20th. Let's see if that's going to be the factor. Like, if that's going to determine when. You guys are getting unsubscribed from my channel? Resubscribe. Yeah. That's what's going to happen. It does have to do with Baron turning 18. Big time, really strong. Is she going to wait that long? She's not going to wait that long. I actually think... Oh, that's kind of cute. Might us, M-I-G-H-T, U-S. I'll think about the spelling. I will spell it differently, but this is Midas the Moose. Midas the Democracy Moose. Spelled differently. Wow, so yeah, they're done. They're done. They're burnt. It's over. Will we hear about that soon? Will we hear about the impending divorce, the impending ending of the business contract between Melania and the loser? Will we learn about that soon? Okay, will we learn about that this month? Will we learn about that next month? It looks like we'll learn about it next month, that it's over between them. They were done 4 years ago. It's just a business arrangement. It's not... I've always seen Melania going back to Slovenia. I've always seen her going back. I don't think she's going to stay in this country. The impending ending. All right. Now, because there's all this election news and election news and election news and election news, it's only January. We haven't really been looking at Moses, Maga Mike. We haven't really been looking at that, but we're going to pull three cards about Maga Mike. Oh, and one just flipped over. Believe it or not, Maga Mike is going to do what's going to cause him the least amount of trouble with the American people. I know, it's hard to believe. This is what I feel like with Maga Mike. I feel like Maga Mike right now is in a position where he doesn't want anything, he doesn't want any more digging to be happening. So what I mean by that is I have this feeling that he has word that people are looking into his background. Maga Moses Mike, you know who I'm talking about. And because of that, he's going to, well, first of all, he agreed to not have a government shutdown this month. Oh, how noble is he? But the star card is coming up, which means the United States is going to benefit from him being fearful, from Maga Mike being fearful. The Three of Cups is we're going to kind of celebrate. And I think he's going to make the agreement and go. I think that Maga Mike is going to agree. I think it's been extended to March, not shut down the government. I feel like he's going to just do it and go. Let's ask this. Will he be ousted or go? Will Maga Mike be ousted by his party? Yeah, actually. You guys are still talking about Melania and the loser? Kamala Harris is on tour on the campaign trail. And today is the anniversary of Roe v. Wade. And the misogyny and the violence and the cruelty is over the top. And Kamala Harris is touring the country. She's on the campaign trail, standing up for women. And that needs to happen. I'm going to pull three cards about how that's going to go. We are not aware of how many women are dying because of these abortion bans. In 21 states, abortion is not legal. 21 states in the United States of America have abortion bans. When a woman enters into a pregnancy, as we all know, that's a medical situation. When a woman is in pregnancy, that's a medical situation. She needs to be watched over. She needs to have checkups. She needs, in order to bear a healthy child and to stay healthy herself, She needs access to health care. In 21 states in the United States of America in 2024, women don't have that. And I'm just gonna, it bears repeating. I'm just gonna tell you that last summer, and I mentioned it when it was going on. I have a family member who was 6 months into a pregnancy, and it turned out to not be viable, and they had to do what they had to do. And I was so just overcome with how tragic a circumstance that is already. But we live in a blue state, and it was handled medically appropriately. But if she were in Texas, if she were in a different state, it would be a completely different, it would have been, it's a difference between a traumatizing situation and a life-altering, possibly life-ending situation. Not just for the woman, for the family. And there are some states where the family can be prosecuted. So that's where we are. And it's like in the 80-90 percentile of the American population does not want abortion bans and wants gun laws. So all we have to do, I mean, just think of these women, how horrible that is, especially when they want a child. It's bad all around, but when they want a child and they're planning on the baby, and it's, you know, that's already so devastating. The whole thing is so devastating. And the American people, you know, when we all take action and do our part, we will save our democracy from this. We're starting to look like the country of cruelty, and we are not that. That's not who we are. Somebody needs to breathe. Deep breath. You posted memories from the Worldwide Women's March today? Oh, from 7 years ago. We knew then what was going to happen. We knew when the loser took office illegitimately. We knew what was going to happen. What's the matter, Diane? Do you need a session? Get in touch with me. I don't want to see people suffer. I don't like, you know. Now you have me involved in trying to help here, which is fine. I can't find it. Excuse me. I'm reading about, okay. I'm reading about these abortion bans and what's going to happen. You busted up your food knee? Thank you, Kathy, for the endorsement. I think you meant good knee, but you messed up your food knee is what it said. So I don't know. If you need a laugh, that was kind of funny. Your food knee? I get it. I get it. I just had a visual of somebody eating their dinner on their knee. Because I'm just crazy like that. The fascists. Yeah, the people that, like, the fascists have no fans. Let's put it that way. I mean, the fascists have no normal people that are fans. Okay. And the sun is being shown on this, and they're delusional to think that they're going to be looking like with favor by the American people. The fascist Republicans, I mean. And the Hierophant says it's highly unconstitutional that they've taken away a right. We all need to read our United States constitutions. And thank you to the person that sent me a whole stack of them. If you need a pocket constitution, you need to send me an email because I got to send them out. Annette Dion 7@gmail.com. I will mail it to you. I have a whole stack of them. If you're the one that sent them, let me know. Annette Dion 7@gmail.com. Email me if you want a pocket constitution. I have a ton of them. But as far as women's rights, it's going to be pointed out by way too many people for them to keep doing this, that it's unconstitutional. So we're in a constitutional crisis. So, by the way, you're talking about sending packages. Our friend Louis DeJoy just raised the price of stamps again. I sent an email to everybody to sign a petition. We've been trying to get rid of him for 4 years now. Corruption, corruption, corruption. I think I might need to read on DeJoy. So the price of stamps just went up again. And I had I was at the main post office here. I've always had a P.O. box for as long as I can remember anyhow. At least the past 20 years. And I had to move my P.O. box to a more out-of-the-way post office because the rate went up every single time. Every 6 months, the rate was doubling. And I want to know where this money is going. Louis DeJoy. I want to know where this money is going. So we're just going to read on that. Right to just Google Fire DeJoy and sign petitions. Just get your name in there. It makes a difference. I know everyone thinks it doesn't make a difference. Well, maybe not everyone, but so many people think that it doesn't make any difference. And think about 1,000 people sitting there going, I'm not going to bother. It's not going to make a difference. When every one of those 1,000 people, if they just signed a petition, it would make a huge difference. Google Fire DeJoy. Everybody do it right now, or, after. There's some corruption going on there, but they were able to kind of loosen his grip. They did, Biden did get some of his appointees on the Board of Governors. I was like practically fighting with somebody on the Board of Governors via email. I don't think he's there anymore. You signed the petition the other day? Yes, yeah, and get other people to sign it. This is about DeJoy. Dullness surfer. Oh yeah, he's just surfing. He's surfing away, collecting his bonuses. He already was a billionaire or a multimillionaire. I don't know how much money he had already. He's making big bucks in his position at the post office. Thank you for signing it. Yeah, my dad was a letter carrier. My dad fed and sheltered us being a letter carrier. And they had good benefits that are still helping him in his very elderly years. Anyway, which actually got me a little clout when I was going back and forth with the Board of Governors, which was kind of good. In a certain way. It was like, well, tell your dad thank you for his service. The knower. Oh yeah, he's gonna go. The more, I really feel like the more people that sign petitions and write to Biden. Please pray for Marge's daughter. Okay, we will. You have so many petitions for DeJoy to go. Your wrist hurt. Good for you. He's still here, but we're still working on it. You know what I mean? If you don't get your goal, don't quit. Don't quit till you get your goal. Right? I talk to a lot of people that are like, well, I tried that law of attraction thing and it didn't work. I'm like, well, if you didn't get what you wanted, why'd you stop? Why'd you stop working on it? Find out where the interference is and clear it up. Anyway, it's almost 8, well, it's getting really close to 8 o'clock, and I do want to watch Midas Touch. It's unbelievable how much the rates are going up at the post office. They're just spiking them up, spiking them up, spiking them up. The last increase was July. So every 6 months, he hikes up the prices at the Postal Service. And the reason that these things happen, and then we all sit around, like we have no power, right? Where's my sign? It's in the other room. Never let them think that you are powerless. ever. I'm once again avoiding reading on the border. It's Annette Dion 7. I use all small letters. All lowercase. At gmail.com. When DeJoy finally goes, will the prices go down? I actually think so. It's okay, Doug, if you're late. You don't get detention. But thanks for being here. You can watch it on replay, too. Pray for... Okay, Gloria, I'll check my email. Pray for the border situation. I'm totally serious. Pray every day that the border situation calms down. And that these fascist Republicans that are fabricating fake stories like it's all Joe Biden's fault, it's all Joe Biden's fault, it's all Joe Biden's fault. The people that aren't really paying attention to the news, that's what they hear. The crisis at the border, it's all Joe Biden's fault. I know you've heard that too. I know you've heard it. It's not Joe Biden's fault. The Biden administration has been brilliant beyond belief. Thank you for praying for Marge's daughter. That's very nice. It's really beyond belief. Anyway, the way that they lie, they just, I mean, look at Alina Havich. It's beyond belief. I can't even fathom. There were 30 cows on a farm. This is why I'm doing pre-recorded videos too. There were 30 cows on a farm and 28 chickens. How many didn't what? I can tell people are going, they're leaving, they're going to Midas Touch. Hit the thumbs up before you go. Oh, Maria's talking about a documentary on YouTube about the British stamp. Yeah, remember the Stamp Act? Those revolutionaries weren't going to take it, that's for sure. Okay, so we have a lot of things coming up. Hang on a second. I want to see what the spade means because it just feels important. It feels like what I was just talking about with big news this week. So the spade means legal matters and official documents. Well, there you go. In the position, let me use this gift spoon that Yuko gave me. I don't know if she's here. She lives in Hawaii. There's a spade there. And the spade has to do with legal matters and documents. And it looks like a lizard. You won't be able to see it because it's really... Don't give up. Oh, you're giving up on the riddle? There's a lizard there. It's really, you won't be able to see it. I can see it. There's a lizard there in the spade. And the spade has to do with legal matters. And the lizard has to do with, we've read this before. What are you worrying about? There's no need for anxiety, so relax. Your fears are groundless, as you will soon realize. Meanwhile, you would be wise to find something to take your mind off your troubles. They are largely imaginary. If you think that the loser is going to get away with all this legal crap, you think again. Because he's not. Because he's not. He's not going to get away with it. And what else do we have? We do have another whale. And something that looks like a tractor and an elephant. A whale, a tractor, and an elephant. Hang on. Don't leave yet. A whale, a tractor, and an elephant. This sounds like a cognitive test. Whale, tractor, elephant. Wow, look, the whale and the elephant are right next to each other. Circumstances are about to expand in your life. A whale is usually a favorable symbol. Although if it is worry or irritation, it could, it could, it's positive. Don't let yourself be swept away by negative feelings, because this is positive, but it's whatever it is. It's kind of like Jupiter. The whale is kind of like Jupiter. It's big. Whatever it is, it magnifies it. And then the elephant, patience and kindness surround us. We can get the support or assistance we desire. Progress may be slow as an elephant ambling along, but you are certain to get there in the end. That's all good news. Maria liked our pop-up reading tea leaves, me and Kathy. That was fun. And occasionally, occasionally I'll do a pop-up video, and that's a surprise, so you won't know about it ahead of time. Mary is saying she feels his meltdown may be related to that appellate court decision on presidential immunity. I think that's true. I do. Okay, people are dropping off because they're probably going to Midas Touch. A couple of things. I have a free class that starts on February 10th. It's based on my book, The 7-Day Key to Living Inspiration and Empowerment. Each Saturday for 7 Saturdays, it's for 45 minutes. So we're going to do a free class. You can kind of get to know how I work in a teaching capacity. And psychicannetteDion.com is where you go to find out what else I'm up to. I'm also still offering winter doldrum energy readings, where I kind of evaluate what I'm picking up on your energy, and I tell you ways to that will work, kind of like a holistic prescription to boost your energy. It's not a medical evaluation, it's an energy reading. So check that out. That expires February 12th, and it's a lot less expensive than a full-on reading. So, and great information. Grassrootsofdemocracy.com is where you go to join us for 20 on Tuesdays. Our guided meditation for a healed America is tomorrow. Please join grassrootsofdemocracy.com. Our discussion groups are Thursday night. Our work sessions are Saturdays. I wrote so many postcards on Saturdays, and I'm not even done, to elect Tom Suozzi and to take George Santos' seat in New York. So let's do the work, and thank you for being here. Love you lots. Check out Church of Spirituality and all the other good stuff. Namaste! I love you guys. It gives me energy. It doesn't take energy away. See ya. Go watch Midas Touch.